Welcome, folks, to another episode of Item 9 Gaming Reviews. This time, we're taking a look at a game that's just been eating up all those tasty review scores, getting those 9s and 10s. We are looking at Deathloop. That's right. This is the newest title to come to us from Arkane Lyon, and you may have been familiar with some of their former titles like Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Prey? Didn't play Prey. Carter, did you play Prey?
Nah, I was debating picking it up on Games Pass, but not yet.
Yeah. But, I am very, very excited to talk about Deathloop. I just finished it last night, and it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind since, and I'm like, can't wait to get Carter in here. Can't wait to talk about this game. Thank you to the fine folks at Bethesda for providing us with a copy of the game so that we can review for you guys. That was very nice of them. And, so I think that we are just going to go into our overall impressions of the game right off the bat. Then we'll get down into some of the core mechanics, the gameplay, the graphics, the story, of course. Are we going spoilers? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. We can decide on that a little bit later. But yeah, guys, Deathloop, people are saying it's not a roguelite. The developers are saying it's not a roguelite. It's debatable. It's got roguelite qualities.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, too. That was a big surprise for me.
Yeah, as well. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much.
Yeah. I know. I thought when I first started playing it, I was like, oh, I don't know if Gabe's going to like this stuff, especially when I started losing stuff and everything. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, essentially you are stuck in a time loop and you are trying to break the loop by doing various tasks around the island of Blackreef. The island itself is a character, I find.
Yeah, so
well done. Very, very well created. And this game is really just a testament to the folks at Arkane Lyon, and they're really like honing their craft. Arkane really knows what works well, for them exactly. And this game is a definite example of that. Really, just emphasizing the play your way aspect in this game, where essentially you are just thrown into a large toy box or sandbox, whatever you'll have here, where you are able to take on missions any way that you choose, and I think it's great. So the game, again, it is part of a time loop mechanic, so you'll have one day to complete various tasks before that time loop resets. And the thing about progression in this game, it's not so much you're upgrading Colt, but you are kind of gathering knowledge, and that is sort of the way you progress through this game, is through knowledge. And I really liked that as well. That was really fantastic. There's no spoon feeding you any of the story here, which is cool. You can count on your hands the number of times there's cutscenes. So that's really cool. Not a lot of exposition. You've got to do a lot of reading yourself, which is cool. And the time loop mechanic, it works really well. It's something that we've been noticing a trend of in games in the last few months, and I really enjoy how well that Arkane pulled this off.
Yeah, especially after we did 12 minutes, that loop, I know you really enjoyed it, but I was kind of feeling like, even though you were the one playing, I was feeling like, it was getting a lot of repetitive. But when I was running through Deathloop, I honestly, not once did I find it repetitive. Every time I went into a place, even if it was like the same time of day, I would find something that I didn't find that time before. And that sense of discovery and just openness is crazy,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, totally. So you have like 24 hours to do these certain tasks, and then you have each day, which is split up into the morning, noon, afternoon, and evening, or night.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think so.
So and the thing about it is just like it's really getting down a formula that really works well for you. I find that the more you play it, again, eventually you feel just like pretty unstoppable, because you just know from the repetition where everything is going to be at certain points in the day. And I think that really gives you a sense of accomplishment from like recognizing the patterns as well in the game. So that was like really cool. And then of course we can't forget that there is a multiplayer portion to the game as well, in terms of Julianna, where she's able to invade your game and end your loop. And it also has its own risk reward sort of system there, with you being able to get upgrades for your slabs, which is some of the different abilities that you're able to use in the game, and getting different trinkets and whatnot. And of course, you're able to keep all these upgrades and slabs with the use of Residium and infusing your different weapons and whatnot. But for me, overall, I think Deathloop is fantastic. It is definitely a Game of the Year contender. It was one of the most enjoyable games that I played this year. I mean, just picking it up, playing it, it was the only thing I wanted to go back to, which was really awesome. I thought I'd been like a little bit oversaturated with the amount of Deathloop content that was coming out at a lot of the showcases. The trailers we were consistently getting, like at every event that was going on or that Sony did. But no, I think that although the game was marketed pretty much like Dishonored with guns, I think the marketing did not do the game justice. I think it's so much deeper than that, and I definitely recommend, if you have a PlayStation 5, picking this game up, because it's really cool. But what about you, Carter? What are your overall impressions?
Yeah, so like the first thing with me too is like coming into it, I was kind of had a little bit of red flags, you know, like the marketing for me too, it wasn't really hitting for me. I was kind of like, I don't know, really unsure about how the loop's going to go and how it was marketed. It really felt like it was just going to be, you know, another Arkane game. Like, are they really going to be able to step it up and make this difference? And honestly, they really stepped it up. Like, playing this game, it's so wonderful. Like, I usually in most games, I tend to just like stick with one route. I'll either go like stealth or I'll go all out. Like this game, I've never find myself switching up. Like one mission, I'll go stealth, you know, I'll go completely quiet, I'll have a silenced SMG, I'll put on stealth trinkets for my weapons, stealth trinkets for my character. Like I went full on, like, and then when I went guns a-blazing, I would put on like higher health, I would make it so I had take less damage, and like the amount of control you have over your playthrough is so well done, and the way that you grow over each loop. And even like sometimes it might just be like a loop, you get killed or something happens, you know, but you get like one little thing that helps make a difference on the next loop, or you've seen something on the loop before that helped you get through. It's so well done, and I didn't think I would really like exploring that hard, but I loved going into every crevice, into every place. It was so beautifully done, and I just kept wanting to jump back into it. I beat it in I think like 5 days, because every time I finished it, I would go home and play it. Like I went home from Gabe's at like midnight one day. I texted him at like 2 a.m. And then the next thing I know, I look at my phone, it's like 4:30 a.m. I'm like, just been stuck in the loop. Like it's just that good of a game. You don't even realize how much time's passing because you're just having so much fun and enjoying it so much. And speaking on the multiplayer too, at first I played with just with the online on, and then I got messed up a few times at first by some random people, so I turned it off to the single player. And even then I was still getting invaded by so much with Julianna, and the feeling you get when it says Julianna's on the hunt, like that's a feeling I rarely get in video games. Like I would have tingles down my back, bro. Like I would be shivering, like I would have full on anxiety. I was like I'm so scared. Like sometimes like she would come right at me instantly. Sometimes I would have to like go and find where she was and get her to come at me. And it's kind of scary, but like even with the bot, it's so well done, and it gives you so much variety. And then I also had time to jump into the multiplayer too and try a few rounds of the multiplayer. I did pretty good sometimes. I did kind of bad sometimes, but it was really fun being able to like mess around with their level and like come up behind them or like change stuff for them and like see what they did. And our buddy Joey even told us that he made himself Colt and then stood in front of the guy, and then the guy's like, wait, what? And then he killed him. So like it just adds like so much layers to the game. And even after I beat it, I was already hopping back into it. So I was just really surprised and enjoying it.
Yeah, and like the amount of like the variety of play styles that you can go through. I remember you when you saw how I was playing, you were like, "Yo, we have two completely different play styles," and I was just like, "Yeah, I pegged you to go for more the stealth approach. I thought you were gonna go stealth the whole entire game.
I did for a big chunk, but I was surprised too myself when I found myself just going, popping out the dual wield and like just hitting with the havoc and stuff. Like
and just
sorry.
Yeah, speaking on in terms of gameplay. So you do have an inventory system and the menus through that where you're able to equip different weapon trinkets, character trinkets, slabs, and slab upgrades to Colt. And what they'll be able to do is basically enhance your gameplay. You'll be able to add different upgrades to your weapons, like mag size, accuracy bonuses, stuff like that, as well as health bonuses for yourself, the ability to double jump. And I think that's really cool that you can also infuse them with Residium. So there's some sort of reward there, and you do feel like there is a lot of progression that is happening with your playstyle too. You're keeping it fresh by swapping out the different weapon trinkets and stuff like that as well, which is really a nice touch to it. And the abilities that you do unlock and use as Colt are really nice as well. You have a blink ability or something?
It's blink.
Is it blink?
That's what I called it.
Yeah.
Or shift.
I think it's shift. It's blink and Dishonored. Shift in this.
Shift in this one.
The Carnesis ability, Aether, Havoc. What else is there? Nexus.
The Link one, Nexus. Yeah, Nexus is the Link
and
one.
I think that's it. All of them,
Yeah.
So with that, you're able to just turn into an absolute killing machine. Only being able to use two of these abilities at once with Colt as well is really imperative to how Deathloop wants you to go about its level design in progressing through the game as well. Unlike Dishonored, where I'm pretty sure you get all the powers.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you wish you had all the powers when we first started playing, but like I kind of like enjoyed that they limited us to two because it kind of really made you like think before you go into each mission about like what am I gonna pick for this mission, like what one's gonna help me most. What's this visionary, like, what's their weakness, like, how am I going to take them out, really, what is it, slab abilities really helped change up that play style, too.
Yeah, definitely, and the fact that you're able to then upgrade them as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool. I think, too, the different varieties of weapons that you can pick up, I really had fun with the gunplay in this. I know you were somebody who had way more weapons than I did, and you were changing your weapons up a lot. But I was very comfortable once I found a really good set of weapons. I was just really comfortable using them throughout the whole game, and I think that was really fun for me. I wasn't too worried about the inventory management as I thought I was going to be in this game. Which is cool because, you
don't have to be.
Exactly.
It's an option. That's really good that, you don't have to be like that. You don't have to keep upgrading stuff and keep putting on more stuff,
Yeah, definitely. I think that was really fun. And also, there's going to be a lot of different puzzles that you're going to go through in the game as well and sort of its environment. I really enjoyed going through the island of Blackreef and exploring it during the different times in the day. There's always something different. You'll go to approach a mission and you'll have to return because something that you have to do is close in the afternoon. But if you come back in the nighttime, you'll be able to progress throughout the mission arc that you're on, which is awesome. I like that that it really does in a sense kind of have a Metroidvania style to it too, where you're just like you're able to go backtrack and stuff, explore places that you weren't able to at the beginning. Once you find out more about it as well, going through the game world itself and picking up a lot of the articles and reading it, playing the audio tapes and stuff like that, you're really giving yourself a a different sort of narrative experience where, again, this game is just, it's not to say that it hasn't been done before, where there's like just not a lot of cutscenes, but for an FPS like this coming from Bethesda, I really like that, and that it wasn't so like, it's linear in a sense, but the way you go about it, again, it's not. So it's cool that that how the cutscenes and stuff are sort of given to you in like little silhouettes that very much fit like the 60s chic retro style of the world itself, which is really cool. I did enjoy that. But yeah, you're going to have to do a lot of reading in this game. But that really makes you appreciate like the detail that's in it. So yeah, I mean, as far as gameplay goes, I think this game is really, really, really fun and unique in a sense where you don't really get tired of it, even though you're doing the same things. The fact that there's just minor variances and stuff that you'll come back and you won't realize the first playthrough of it. It really makes the whole experience way more rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you were saying like the different weapons, like I was able to like each time I was always just exploring, and like I would just kill a random dude and I'd be like, oh, he's got like a purple weapon, and like I'd always check like whatever like the ability is on the weapon, and like by the end I had like such a crazy amount of weapons, and like I loved like the different variety of stuff. Like I had a rapier, which is like the one shot, and I had one that literally it was a rocket. It literally just shot like a rocket launcher, and I could just be boom, 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 and then whenever I would just be on my crazy runs, I would use like that, and then I would use like what else did I have? I had what's the LMG called?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, but the LMG, I had one that caused creating head explosions that hurt other people.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was crazy. So it exploded and then hurt the other guy, and yeah, it's just there was so much variety and.
Yeah, and even again, like I know we were just talking about the story earlier, but overall, I think that it's a great narrative. I think that having two POCs of color as your protagonist and antagonist, it's really awesome to see. It's not something you see in a lot of AAA titles these days. And I think that just the performances from Colt itself, he's such a funny character. Like the dialogues that he has with himself. Yeah, the relationship between him and Julianna, it's really well done. It's some great writing there. I think that some of the best moments of the games is just when Colt is just reacting to the whole loop itself,
and just him and Julianna bantering. Like I love how every single time you start like a new place, him and Julianna have a little conversation. Like I would find like the evolution of how their relationship grows and like how their banter grows, it would just have me like smiling and laughing the whole time. You know what I mean? Every time like she would pop in and say something, and he would get under her skin and she would get under his skin. It was just really nice. Very, very good voice acting and writing. So good.
Yeah, definitely. And so with that being said about the story, you're playing as Colt Vaughn, and you are trying to figure out why you are stuck in this sort of Groundhog Day like scenario on the island of Blackreef. And eventually, when you figure out how to break the loop, you realize that you have to take out the 8 visionaries on the island and you're going to have to orchestrate that, but you can't do them all individually. You'll have to group them together at various points in the game, so you can get it all done in one loop, and that is sort of your main objective in the game, is trying to figure out how you're able to take out all 8 visionaries in one loop. And I just think that in itself, it's just a really, really fun mechanic and puzzle itself. And I think that is really, really interesting how they made, like, even just the whole story itself is just this game is a bit of is one giant puzzle. One
giant jigsaw puzzle. I was gonna say that too. Like, playing the game, it really felt like that. Like, as you get like little pieces, like it would honestly be like you get a little piece and like you put it in the puzzle, and like you're just slowly you're getting the pieces as you're putting them in, and that was really nice. And then like it's just slowly appearing. You're like, oh wait, what was that? And then like you like see something that's on the document, and then Julianna says something about it the next day, and then you're like, oh what? Yeah, it was really good.
Definitely. I really, really did have a fun time. Just really focusing and trying to protect the loop, as you say in the game, and I really liked figuring out. Like, I think it's just really rewarding when you've done trying to do the same task, and then you finally figure out how to take out the visionary. And then at the end, when it like literally just comes together like a symphony,
facts,
like a symphony, and you're finally able to take them all out in one go. You've been preparing for this literally.
It's so beautiful,
the whole game, and you just feel like an absolute badass,
and it feels so good.
End. Yeah, when you're able to take them all out. And I think that that was really a rewarding aspect in terms of the story's climax and whatnot, and ending. Yeah, but I think the story was really well done. I just really wish that I had taken a little bit more time to explore the world, go into that. I think that Blackreef as a setting is super interesting. The fact that that each day is splitting up into different sections is really intuitive. Gives them a chance to, even though you're still at the same setting, give you a lot more creativity with how each level is kind of set up as well.
Yeah.
So I think that was awesome. I loved though that there's just different events going around with like even some of the AI and the NPCs around the map that are really cool. I remember one specific point, like this dude was stacking up like boxes of something. And I just knocked one over, and it happened to like have a mine.
Domino one?
Yeah, the domino one, and it had like the mine at the end of it.
Yeah,
it blew up. I think that was cool.
And that's only there at like one certain time of the day too.
Yeah,
yeah, and like certain it was so cool how like certain doors were only open at certain times. You know, like certain buildings would be closed, and even if certain buildings open at multiple times in the day, you go in at a different time of day. It's like there's different stuff in it. The people are in different places. I was really surprised by just how different each time of day in the loop is in each place, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I think overall, I know some people were having problems with the game. I think there's a few glitches here and there. I think for me, I had some like UI glitches at one point. I mean, you saw when I was playing and nothing was like, I wasn't sure how to infuse anything like that because it was just not showing up for me. But other than that, I think the game runs very well. It's definitely one of the better titles, I think, for me personally playing on PlayStation 5. It's right up there with Ratchet and Clank in terms of like games that really utilize the DualSense controller and whatnot.
For me, I think it's definitely the best PS5. Probably the best game I've played since Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. I think we need more games like this coming out. These fresh, exciting, intuitive IPs. Overall, though, I think Deathloop is a must play. If you haven't yet, definitely check it out. I think if I were to give it a score, I think I'd have to give it a 9.5.
I was literally going to say the same thing.
And I'll give it that because there was some times in the game where I did have to like close it and reopen it.
Because of glitches or like because you died?
Not because I died. Because of a few glitches like in the user interface and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. And you were having some screen problems too. You were having some visual problems.
Some visual problems. I did not know what was going on. But other than that, I mean, for me, it was really fun, creative game that makes you think as well. It makes the player have to utilize a lot more than just, giving everything just fed to them. You have to, for yourself, sort of put the story together. And I think that even if you're intimidated to play puzzle games or games that have roguelite influence on them, I think that this is a great game to start as a first-person shooter. I mean, I think, this was right up my alley. I think if there were to be a game to introduce me to those game mechanics so that I would play games like that in the future, this for sure was the best place for me to start. I'm interested now in going out and playing. I think I definitely want to play Returnal now and see how that is.
Really?
I think I'd really like to play something like that. But yeah, I mean, 9.5 for me, Carter, and that's what I'm going to close on. What about you?
I'm gonna have to go with a 9.5 too. It was really good. At first I was gonna give it a 10, but then after playing through the whole game and beating it, it was very good and very beautiful, and I didn't have any problems until I got to the end, and then I was kind of just like, there's not like a lot of like side missions, although it'd be hard for it to make sense, but I feel like they definitely could fit a decent amount of side missions in, and I feel like there's not like a lot to explore after. There's a decent amount, but like, you know what I mean? If you've already explored a lot after, there's not really a lot of options for you to after. I did like hopping into the multiplayer and playing as Julianna, but other than that, that was my only really big problem. After you beat the game, there's not a lot, but I definitely got like a good like 30, 40 hours out of the story, and I really had a good time getting to know Julianna, getting to know Colt, getting to know Blackreef, discovering all of the mysteries and the complex and Fristed Rock, and it was really a good time, and I really wanted to see everything there was to see in this world, and it really truly delighted me and surprised me, because I was a bit scared, like what you said with the puzzling and stuff. I was kind of hesitant at first, but seeing reviews, and then when I hopped in, I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm gonna give you the 9.5 for the double loops.
Yeah. Well, there you guys have it. 9.5 from both of us here. I think the highest score we've given a game in a long time.
Nice.
But I really enjoyed Deathloop. And I think it's a must play. If you haven't yet, definitely go check it out, guys, because it is one of the best games you can get your hands on right now if you're playing on PS5, whatnot. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on another episode of Item 9 Gaming Reviews, where we cover all the latest and greatest in video games right here for you guys. So thank you very much. And if you would like to make our day, please hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us on our socials down below there. Item 9 Gaming on Twitter, Item 9 Gaming on Instagram. And until next time, guys, we will see you all later.